The hives that we purchased, they were represented to us as being healthy hives.
Look at how beautiful they fly. Never mentioned that we had diseased hives.
Then I went with Mr. Lamphin because there was a problem with the bees, as he discusses.
There's nothing true about what that young man is saying out there.
That's completely unreasonable.
If you want to fight, I can get you boxing gloves, but we're not here for that. My first case ever with worms.
Come here, Sophie! Get him, Rusty!
Can I say something?
No. If she hadn't had an oral agreement, how do you do? I know you've all been sworn. I have read your complaint, sir. You bought some beehives from the defendant?
That's correct.
When was that, sir?
We took possession of them around March 1st or 2nd of 1997.
How much did you buy them for?
The negotiated price was for $5,600, and then it was renegotiated for $5,400.
54, okay. How was this to be paid, sir?
It was to be paid half in cash and half in trade, be it bee merchandise products that we as a company sell.
What kind of products?
Beeswax, honey, bee pollen, things that are related to the bee industry.
Did you pay half cash?
No, I did not.
Why not?
Well, we had a disease in the hives that we purchased. They were represented to us as being healthy hives, and I brought along a description of what the disease is. It's a very contagious
When did
disease.
you find that out, sir?
Approximately about a month or 2 months after we started to see some problems with them. The hives were not identified as having that specific disease until about 3 months after we took possession of them.
Who identified the disease?
I identified it and then confirmed it with the county agricultural department.
You say you have something?
I have a tape out here.
I also have a letter.
Does it have audio on it?
Yes.
I want you to tell us what we're
Yes.
looking at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that are my bees down above Glendora in LA on the Los Angeles forest. There's a big deal out there. You can see how mine hives are green. His were white. See how they were ready to be picked up to bring to the Madera County. Look at it, how beautiful they're flying.
Your Honor, there's also
very
other
good bees.
Other bees in that yard that are flying, not just Mr. Lamphin's. Have retained a letter from the county agricultural department. We kept one of the beehives of Mr. Lamphin. The others had to be destroyed by fire, and that's also in this letter, which is from the LA County Agricultural Department, which indicates that all hives with this disease, since it's so contagious, have to be destroyed by fire, and then the ashes actually buried.
This Department of Agriculture letter, it says on August 31, 1998.
That's correct.
They found some disease on the bee equipment you brought to the office.
That was one hive that we retained for the purpose if Mr. Lamphin was going to try and recover on litigation in the future. We retained that in storage, protective storage, so that if it was needed for evidence in the future.
When did you first notify him that these bees were diseased?
About, well, I notified him about 2 weeks after we took possession of the hives that there was a problem with the hives. We noticed that in 20 of the hives, there was a reduction in strength on these hives.
How many hives were there?
There were a total of 70.
All right, and you noticed trouble in 20?
Correct. We started to see signs of something that was wrong, but we weren't sure exactly.
Was this orally, sir?
Yes, it was, but I have a letter of confirmation that he even acknowledges that 20 of the hives were in a weakened state, if you'd like to see that.
Let me see that. How long have you been in the business, sir?
Sir, Your Honor, I've been in the business since I was 7 years old. My grandfather...
Well, you only look 20 now, so how do I know how long you've been in business? How long have you been in business?
This paragraph here where
about
he talks about the 20 hives.
50 years.
50 years.
I think it's the third paragraph or fourth paragraph down where it talks about he recognizes that there is a depreciation in
Well,
strength.
sir, this is a letter that your attorney wrote.
No, that's his attorney that was representing Mr. Lamphin, the defendant.
Mr. Crowell represents you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And at that time, we had suspected there was something wrong with the bees, but we weren't sure exactly what it was. If
Wow.
the bees are medicated improperly, it can
How did
cover
you
this.
find out exactly what it was?
Well, it started to expose itself very thoroughly about 3 months after we had possession of the hive.
Did you notify him at that time then, sir?
Yes, I notified him that the bees had foul brood. He refused.
When did you do that?
It was approximately 3 months after we took possession of the hives.
How did you do it?
Verbally. It was still a verbal communication.
Never mentioned until I been sued in court that it says what does it say? Because of diseased bees, a contagious. That was the only first time.
When he sued you?
Yes.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Sir, what do you know about this?
All right, I'm a small beekeeper. I have about 45 colonies, and I started beekeeping in 1986. If you buy colonies, you inspect them. At least you inspect some of them. And foul brood, you can tell if you've been in the business as long as this man has been in the business, you can tell whether they have foul brood or not. And to claim a year and a half later that they had foul brood is just a ruse.
That's not true, Your Honor.
How long does it take to detect this foul brood?
Not long at all.
Your
Well,
Honor,
approximately.
Oh, a few minutes.
How does it manifest itself?
It manifests itself by material inside the cell that smells.
What kind of an odor is it?
It's a stinking odor.
Did you inspect these bees before you took
we did
delivery?
inspect the bees, Your Honor, but if the bees, and the information I gave you on this disease, which is very specific, if they're medicated improperly, this disease can be covered up for a small period of time. And it's an antibiotic that would be treating these bees. So if they were medicated just before I took possession of them, or he had a medication process going on, it would be covered up for a period of time.
Did you inspect these bees then before you bought them?
I expected them, yes, shortly after I took possession of the bees.
When was the next
But
time?
if
when was the next time you informed them there was something wrong with the bees?
When the bees showed that it was foul brood for sure,
When
which
was
was
that,
approximately
sir?
2 to 3 months after we took possession of the bees.
What are your damages here, sir?
My damages are that I had to burn, first off, 43 of his hives, which I took possession of, and they cross-contaminated my hives when they were put in the same yards with mine, and I've lost to date 64. And I have also that you can look at, so you're familiar with the parts that's describing, a picture here of a beehive and what it entails inside from that company.
I may give up the bench and go into the beehive business. Okay.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
there's nothing true about what that young man is saying out there. The bees are in the listen, may I ask you, when you buy a very beautiful car that's handcrafted, well, you don't take care of that car, don't put oil in it, within a very short time, that thing breaks down. Same thing happened here.
Well, I would say the same thing. If you bought a ship and it had the death plague on it and you took it home to your family,
I couldn't afford a ship.
Okay.
I mean, you'd be
Can't even
taking the
afford a
death
new
plague
car.
with you.
May I? Your Honor?
Go ahead.
Now here, the man, when we started negotiating last spring, because he never paid anything.
That's not
Now
true, Your Honor.
What's not true? You never paid any? Did you pay something?
Yes, I paid him. I paid him
What'd you
a
pay him?
total of $2,200. I paid, or $2,160. I paid him $1,000 cash, which his evidence packet has the check that was negotiated by him for the $1,000, and also $2,150 or $1,152 in merchandise, which he took possession of from me. He immediately went, got
Sir,
an
did
attorney.
you get a $1,000 check?
Yes, I did.
You cash it?
Yes, I did.
What about $1,152 in merchandise?
That's not true. I got here and break down what it is. I don't see it here. Where do you get these $1,100 from? You must get it out of the sky somewhere.
It's on that list, Your Honor. It's items
Here.
1 through 6 on the trade, and then there's or 2 through 6, excuse me, and then the $1,000 check is at the top.
Your Honor, here.
And I have checks here that
Have you seen this list?
No. Not
was-
that I know. I don't know. Maybe it is the same one.
That's where he says $1,152 in
Dollars,
merchandise.
yes. Yes, I've seen that.
Have you received it?
No. I have received the paper, but not the merchandise.
No, I understand.
Your
have
Honor,
any
that's not
receipt?
true. I have proof
You have
that he
receipts?
received it.
Do you have receipts for the merchandise?
No, but that letter that I gave you from his attorney acknowledges in a highlighted portion of it on the second page that he received items 2 through 6. So he's falsely representing it here in court even.
It says they've already been taken care of.
Well, that would insinuate that he at least had them, possession of them.
Take a short recess. I'll come back and give you my decision.
Yelling and screaming, fighting. So I ran outside. I was stark naked.
Grabbed a weapon, you know, a pipe, and I went outside and I saw my dog out there.
I imagine your dog was off the leash too.
Remain seated and come to order. This court is again in session.
The plaintiff, having brought this lawsuit, he has to prove by a preponderance of the evidence that the bees that he purchased from the defendant were diseased. These bees apparently were not diseased when the date that he picked them up, because if they had been, they would have probably smelled bad. And there's some duty imposed upon the plaintiff to look at these bees and make some sort of an inspection. There was no complaint made about these bees until 3 months later. And then there was apparently some contention between the parties and defendant's lawyer. Plaintiff's relying upon this letter to talk about certain items that had been of damage, items 2 through 6 that were on a list that he submitted. But here, this is a 2-page letter by the attorney. And it seems to me that if there had been a question about the disease, and an argument about the disease, the plaintiff had said the defendant sold me diseased bees, that something would have been said by the attorney about the disease. Mm-hmm. Because that was if it was an area of conflict, certainly they would have talked about it.
Yes.
And it wasn't. The other thing that's disturbing to me about the plaintiff's case, apparently he takes in to the Department of Agriculture, County of Los Angeles, equipment inspected, a hive box and 10 frames regarding this AFD disease, and he says that it was brought to him on August 31, 98. But no place in the letter does he say that from that he can tell that the bees were diseased in March of 97 when they were sold by the defendant to the plaintiff. So it seems to me that the plaintiff has not met the burden of proof. Therefore, my judgment is for the defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, I think I could have been a little more accurate if I hadn't negotiated so long with Mr. Lampkin and had went right to the litigation right away. The proof would have been more current, and the judge would have made a different decision, I think.
He begged for that, and that's a reminder, as a friend. We worked with him, and all these things, and it did not work. He asked me, we're going to be friends, and no, I got a bad taste in my mouth.
I was raised in and around bees, and we just decided to get some income out of it since we enjoyed it anyway, and we've been doing it ever since.
That's the only thing I agree with him.
The pit bull had his mouth around the neck of my dog.
He was provoked by a dog that notoriously wanders the neighborhood.
The Animal Court is now in session. The Honorable Joseph A. Wapner, Judge presiding.
You claim that the defendant's dog bit your dog?
Yes, Your Honor.
When did this happen, sir?
On March 7th of this year.
Okay.
And
Where?
This happened twice now.
But let's talk about the first time.
The first time I was not present. My witness, Luisa DaCosta, was.
You want to tell me what happened, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor. On March 7th, I had let the dog out that night, and I was awoken about 2:30 in the morning.
Let the dog out? Where?
Out to my backyard. We have a large fenced backyard, and I let the dog out in the backyard, which we usually do at night. And I was awoken between 2 and 2:30 in the morning, and I heard dog commotions with dog fights going on outside. And I flicked the floodlights on, and I saw the pit bull on the wood pile jumping over the fence. And I grabbed a weapon, a pipe, and I went outside, and I saw my dog out there laying, and he was all bloodied. And that was the first accident.
What part of him was bloody?
His neck was bloody, but he has a lot of fur around his neck, so it was hard to really see his.
Did you take him to a vet at that time?
Not at that time, sir. I waited until the 3 days later, thinking that I could clean up his wounds. And then when on the 11th, his eyes were really bloodshot, and he was still quite lethargic, so I brought him in on the 11th.
Do you have a vet report on that?
Yes, we do.
Your Honor.
Right.
Was the dog on your dog on a leash at that time?
No, sir. He was in our backyard, which
In
is
your
all
backyard?
fenced. Yes.
And when was the second time, sir?
The second time, Your Honor, was happened in the morning of March 21st, and I had just gotten up. I let my dog out the front yard, which is my normal routine. And
Is that enclosed?
No, it is not enclosed, but he stands right on the porch. He doesn't go any further than that. And I was getting ready to go in the shower, and I had heard dogs yelling and screaming, fighting. So I ran outside. I was stark naked. As I got out there, I saw both dogs. The pit bull had his mouth around the neck of my dog, and I tried to break them up. I put this dog into a chokehold, and I started hitting it with my hand into the chest. And finally, Luisa came out with a golf club, and we were able to break the two apart. I ended up breaking my hand in the process.
And did you take the dog to a vet at that time?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have a copy of that?
Your Honor, on that occasion, also the police were involved, and also the animal control wrote
You
up
have
a
a report from animal control?
Yes, we do.
All right, let me see that. And did you see a doctor for your hand, sir? Or go to the emergency room?
Yes, Your Honor, and I have bills from that. And then I also have some photos.
Okay. When were these pictures taken of the dog?
They were taken the day of the fight, the 21st. There's one picture there that shows the animal control in front of our house, putting the pit bull into the car.
Mr. Besserell, you own this dog?
Yes, sir.
It's a pit bull?
He's a Staffordshire Terrier, actually.
Okay. Where do you keep him?
He stays inside the house.
Mostly?
Mostly. He goes outside to do his business.
Were you
out back?
Do you take him outside?
Yes, I do.
You keep him on a leash when he's outside?
In the backyard. There's really no need. It's a confined area.
Do you know what happened on these two occasions?
Well, only account I have of what happened is what they tell me. I am completely unaware of the first attack they're talking about. And as far as the second attack, my dog was inside the house, locked up. I went to work, and he was provoked by a dog that notoriously wanders the neighborhood. And
well, how do you know that it was provoked by this dog? They're saying that the dog was enclosed in a closed area in their backyard.
Well, that dog wanders the neighborhood, and that's the only reason Brutus would ever do anything like that. He never gets out of the house. He's always there when I get home. This is the first time anything like this has ever happened.
You have a dog opening in your house where he can
No dog opening where he can get out.
How do you think he got out on these two occasions?
When I got home, there was a broken window of the a living room window, and there was blood on the window.
So you think he got out there?
I think he saw their dog in our neighborhood and was provoked to protect his domain.
That's a guess on your part, isn't it?
Well, that's the only account of what I had happened is what they're telling me.
Your Honor, I'd like to point out that on the morning of the fight on the 21st, Louisa did go over to their house, saw broken glass, and not only one glass, there was cardboard over other pieces of glass. It's a low window frame on their house, and 3 or 4 windows had been broken.
Did you put cardboard over the windows,
The
sir?
cardboard was put there for, yes, to keep the air in, but our landlord wasn't repairing our windows, and that's why we had broken windows.
Could that be the reason the dog also got out?
He didn't get out through there. The cardboard was still there. The cardboard was already there prior to this other broken glass.
I see.
Well, we think it's from...
This ever happened before, sir?
No, never.
Did animal control contact you?
They sure did.
Did they tell you about this?
They told me about this, and they have my dog in quarantine for 10 days.
Your Honor, I'd like to also point out that there's a leash law in Palm Springs, and it's strictly enforced.
Your dog was off the leash too. You say that the fight occurred in front of the house.
It was right in we have a circular driveway in front of the house, and it was right there at the driveway.
I imagine your dog was off the leash too when this happened.
Julio, your dog was on top of our dog, and our dog had no fur on his neck from the
If
first
your dog
fight.
would have come into my yard and attacked my dog, and I would have been there
But he
present,
didn't.
I could
The thing is, he
have
didn't.
got
Wait a
my
minute.
dog off of your dog.
Wait a minute.
Without hurting
I'm not going to tolerate this. There are 2 different attacks here. One on the 7th of March and the other on I think it was the 21st of March. As to the first one, the attack took place in the plaintiff's backyard. It's enclosed. It's a trespass by a defendant's animal. There's no question about the defendant's liability. That amounts to $293.60. Insofar as the attack on the front porch, first of all, the defendant's liable for allowing his dog to get out and for violation of the off-leash law. Question is whether or not the plaintiff is guilty of any kind of contributory negligence by allowing the dog off the leash in the front yard. It's on the porch. Is it part of the front yard? I think it's a part of it, but it's a not completely private, but it's a semi-private or semi-public place. So the dog really should have been on a leash, but being the place where it was on the porch, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, allowing you 75% of the recovery instead of 100%. In other words, there's comparative fault. The total that I would allow for the plaintiff is $873.85. That's my judgment.
Thank you. You know, the judgment was fair. It's at least it's resolved.
I wasn't aware that my dog would break out of a window, so I don't think there's anything really I could have done to prevent this from happening.
With this judgment, I think we're going to move Gorb up to some premium dog food now.